Ready? Here we are. Hello. Okay, so we're talking tonight about coaching appointments and hostess programs, and a lot of good stuff here. First of all, an appointment worth booking is an appointment worth coaching. Or said another way, you most likely don't have an appointment unless you coach it. So I see 4 faces on the screen right here. Raise your hand if you ever had an appointment and it canceled. Hey, Meredith. Hi, Meredith. Okay, we're raising our hand if we ever had an appointment and it canceled.
Okay, there you are. Hi.
Hey, so if you ever had an appointment on your books and it canceled, raise your hand. Okay. Did you ever have an appointment that you thought was maybe really going to be a great one, and then it was a really kind of stinky one and nobody showed up? Okay, so here's the deal. We are the professional, we are in charge, and coaching is everything. Coaching is everything because you know what? I will tell you, have you ever forgotten an appointment? I mean, I know you guys don't because you're professional women and like you write everything down, but come on, did you ever forget an appointment? Did you ever forget to go to the doctor's or a nail appointment or something? Chiropractor, I don't know, whatever. And so the reality is that we write things down, but if we're at an appointment or we're booking an appointment with somebody, they may or may not be writing it down because some people are not even in a routine to write things down. So when we book an appointment, we are making a very big assumption that they are, number one, prepared for the appointment, number two, remember the appointment, and number three, that they even know what to say if they're inviting people. So I will give you some great tips about this and just also some of my experiences. So there's a couple of things that are really important. I have my notes here. A couple of things that are really important when you book the appointment. The first thing is booking it. You know, we'll talk about booking another time. We did that recently, but we'll keep circling around to these topics, all right? But booking the appointment is one thing. Once you have that appointment, coaching it can be all the difference between it holding versus it not holding. And if you expect that person to bring guests, then it makes all the difference in how that plays out and what people expect. So coaching is really important. So I found a great little, well, first I wanted to show you what I currently use it's very simple. And I can send it to you tomorrow, but this person, it's a business card because she warm chatted me at the post office a couple months ago. Actually, it was in the wintertime because I was all dressed up and she made a comment about my outfit and I gave her my card and warm chat. Oh, she warm chatted me because she said, look at you looking all like you're so put together. And I'm in the car and my husband and I are like, wow, look at her. She's got it going on. So I was like, give me your number now. No. But anyhow, we had a fun conversation in the post office and she works for Jackson Hewitt. So tax time, she was like, oh my gosh, we're insane. And I have been reaching out to her just to kind of keep in touch, but then I booked her the other day. So she then goes on to my paper, which is my booking. Now I have a folder of all my bookings. And so I wrote down the time, the date, the location. And on the bottom of this has a place for me to write down the people who replied back. If she is having guests, and then she reached out to them. I always have my guests, and Becky's going to talk about this because we both do this, but she reaches out to her guests with an invitation. They reply to me so that I can pre-profile them and tell them I'm going to have a little goodie bag with them. But that is another way to solidify that booking, because if you have somebody who's telling you that they're having a party and then like leading up to it, you don't get a guest list and nobody's texting you back, these are all indications that this might be a shaky booking. And you know what? It happens to all of us, but I'd rather know than to show up expecting that 6 people were going to be there and she didn't know how to invite people and they forgot to come. Okay. And believe me, it happens if we don't coach them. So coaching is really important. But in addition to this little sheet that keeps me in, sort of in touch with all of my appointments, there are some things that you can do to coach the appointment that are going to give you a good chance, a better chance of it holding, and an indication of how well your hostess is working with you. All right. So you don't necessarily need to memorize these because I found a great sheet that I'm going to send to you tomorrow. But the first thing that you want to do to coach people is talk to her about how to invite guests. I mean, this is a perfect example. Today, I did a restaurant promotion the other night. So I met people and I've been reaching out to them and calling them. And this one girl finally got back to me today and said, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So we booked an appointment. And then once the appointment was down, I said to her, okay, you know what? You can bring some friends if you think that that would be fun. And she said, oh, okay, well, I'm not sure because they're so busy right now and I'll ask them. And I thought to myself, Lord knows what she's going to say. She doesn't know what to say. I mean, she has really great intentions. Like, okay, I'll ask them, but she doesn't even know what she's asking them, right? So it's, and that's not to be mean or anything. It's just totally, she has no idea what to do. It's my job to tell her what to do. So I said to her, that's awesome. What I will do is send you a little text picture that you can send to your guests that you'd like to invite. And I will give you a little dialogue so you know exactly what to say to them. And that way, and then I said, and then once we go from there, we'll see who's interested in coming. And, and next I'm going to introduce her to the hostess program. But remember, coaching is about helping your hostess be successful too. She does not know what to say, even though she has great intentions. So the other thing that you can do when you're coaching your appointment is talk to them about refreshments. You know, sometimes people really like to do it up. And if they are people who love to party and love to host, sometimes people love to really do it up with the snacks, but then you're sitting there waiting for people to get done eating. And really, we're supposed to coach our hostesses to let you get through the skincare class quickly, and then everybody can go and have refreshments afterwards. So talking about the refreshments is a really big deal. The other reason why refreshments are a really important part of coaching is because some people are opposed to having a party because they think that they have to like have a full catered event. So even just mentioning the fact that, having chips, salsa, and some iced tea is like the extent of refreshments, really. Talking to your hostess about having a demo area and a separate place where you can do individual closing. Now, some consultants get uncomfortable with this and say, I don't want to tell her that like I'm forcing her friends to buy anything. And the honest truth is that I will say to people, I want a place one-on-one where I can just take people and connect with them after the skincare class, because I want to be able to find out what the best way is to give them good service. Like some people will say they want to be on my mailing list, and some people will say they want me to keep in touch via text. And I want to give them just a couple of minutes of individual attention and then find out what questions that they have. So I am presenting it that this is all about the guest. This is not about me trying to make a sale. So, setting it up as to what all the benefits are to everybody, that's why it's important to discuss with her having that area separate. Confirming the location, talking to her about outside sales. I mean, gosh, you know what? And you can wrap that into your hostess program if you like. And then if you do that, explain to your hostess how to do outside sales. Talk to her about the hostess credit, which we're going to get to in a minute. So you want to know exactly what she's working for so that she can partner with you. I mean, really, she is a partner with you in the success of this party. So reviewing the hostess program and what's in it for her will help that to be solidified. Confirming the guest attendance. And again, Becky is a master at this, and we both do the same thing about having the guests text back their pre-profile questions to you. That way you're really confirming guest attendance. Okay, so then after that, and so what I would say is that you can see that coaching an appointment is multiple touch points, multiple times, not just one and done and then you're going to show up. So the same woman that I was just talking about, the tax lady from Jackson Hewitt, she booked an appointment with me last week. And I've been touching base with her a couple times, because it's in my follow-up notebook. I've been posting on Facebook that every day I'm doing dedicated time to work on my business. So I have customer service calls, I have booking calls, I have team building calls, and I have coaching calls. It's a whole segment in my notebook, and it's dedicated time for me to reach out and coach the appointments that I have. Because, like I said, that's just as important as booking them. Coaching them is important. So she's not been getting back to me. Now, this is a really good indication that this may potentially be an appointment that's not going to hold. So I reached back out to her again today, and she finally got back to me and said, you know what, I need to reschedule this appointment. And I thought to myself, you know what, of course it's a little disappointing, but here's what's not disappointing about it. What's not disappointing about it is the fact that this booking was 9 days away. What would have been really stinky is if I found that out the day before and I didn't book another one in its place. But because I've been on top of coaching it and recognized that she wasn't getting back to me, you know, I was pretty confident that unless I heard from her or started to have some dialogue, that it was not going to be a strong booking. But that helps me to be a professional and to decide what's next for me. The control is back in my hands. Does that make sense? So, you know, it made me feel really good that I knew, you know, that I was on top of that. Okay. So I'm going to have Becky talk to you in a couple of minutes, but first I wanted to just go over tips for a really awesome hostess program, because I mentioned that part of coaching is, you know, defining and getting your hostess excited about the hostess program that you're offering. Now, as you know, we're all independent in Mary Kay, and we don't have a set standard hostess program that everybody has to use. But there are a couple of guidelines that I feel make a great hostess program. Number one, you're excited about it, because guess what? You can sell anything you're excited about it. Just like we all like a different lipstick, or we all like a different skincare. I mean, we've got Repair, we've got Clear Proof, Botanicals, Time Wise, Miracle Set. You know, you sell the skincare you're most excited about. Well, you will sell the hostess program you're most excited about. So there isn't one size fits all, and there's not just one way to do it. But I would say you need to be excited about it so that you can really sell it. You will sell more on excitement than you will ever do with details. So you need to be excited about it. Keep it simple, because just with everything, a confused mind does nothing. So just make sure that it's simple enough that the person understands what they're getting. And I would say that no matter which one you choose, it really is very helpful. And I was reminded of this recently by my retired national sales director who's mentoring me now, when she talked about what her hostess program was like 40 years ago. The hostess program that works the best is always one that encourages future bookings. And the reason I say that is because I would rather you have a party with $100 in sales and 2 future bookings than to have $400 in sales and no bookings. Now, if you just think about that for a second, I'd rather you have a party that was $100 in sales with 2 more bookings than a $400 party with no bookings. Why do you think that I would say that? Any idea why that matters? Why would that make a difference? Becky? You unmuted.
Because it just means your business is continuing on. It keeps going. You keep making money, and you make more bookings from those bookings. So once you finish the first party, if you don't have any bookings from that, it's kind of done.
Yeah.
You start from scratch again.
Yes. And honestly, thank you so much. And if you sold $100, but you had, let's say you had 2 clients at that appointment and they both bought basics, well, you know what? Our basic skincare is consumable. So all those posts that Becky's been making and I've been making about calling customers every day and getting reorders, that happens when we have happy customers using skincare, and or ones that we stay in touch with, right? So that's why, you know what, I don't care if your sales are on the lower side, but you're seeing more people, because you're going to have more people to call for reorders. So I love that. Okay, so you're excited. It's simple enough to be explained and to be understood by your hostess. It encourages more bookings. And this one is a little kind of brain stretcher here. Okay. So, the other thing that I would say is that it would be really helpful if the hostess program, if the hostess benefits, some of it is tied to sales or a certain number of people in attendance. Now, the reason I say that is because I have followed the advice of National Sales Director Leah Carta, who I did a Pacesetters class with, and she was talking about how in her coaching of hostesses, she would get the guest list, she would have them have their guests reply to her, she would pre-profile them, and then she did this. And I'm going to tell you, I have done this and it works. Okay. Not every single time, but I do offer it every single time. I mean to say that not everybody takes me up on it, but I have had people take me up on it at times, and it's really cool. So what I do is when I reach out and the guests of a skincare class reach back to me and they do the pre-profile questions, I will then tell them that I will give them a $25 gift certificate to spend at the party if they bring 2 friends that the hostess did not invite. Now, listen, you are giving away a little bit of extra product, because here's 2 things that happen. First of all, she sometimes says, well, won't, Susie be upset if I bring 2 people? I'm like, heck no, because her hostess program is based on her having a certain number of people there. That's why I said initially it's great if your hostess program can be some sort of benefit, not the full hostess benefit, but maybe a little side benefit is that she gets an extra gift or she gets an extra something for more people being there. So now you are helping the hostess by asking her friends to bring people. So that's number 1. Number 2 is she's not telling her people to bring people. For some reason, it's just not part of their, lingo. They don't know what to do. So you invite them. And so you're giving away hostess credit, and you're giving away an extra 25 to that person, but she's bringing 2 people. Remember, she's bringing 2 people. And if you have to think to yourself like a businesswoman, if I'm in front of 2 more people, I'm either going to book them they're going to be my next hostess, they're going to be my next team member, or they're going to buy something. So yes, I'm willing to give away $25 to that person. That works. It really, really works. So it helps you to increase the guest count, and that means you're in front of more people. Okay, and then this is the other thing, the last thing about just in terms of coaching and booking appointments. I would say that I know that some of you are just, seeing a couple people here and there, and you love the reorders in your business, and you would like it if you got a handful of new customers every month. And others of you really want to book appointments and meet a lot of new people. And if you're trying to figure out how could I make the best use of my time by seeing more people at once, and what I would say is that if you go to a meeting, remember, because I do it, and every meeting that I've ever worked with, because I've worked with many over the years since I've moved around with my business, so I've worked with different directors, we always have an opportunity for consultants to bring guests to a Mary Kay meeting. So if you are going to a meeting, I would highly encourage you to invite your individual appointments to the meeting, because then you can double and triple book, and you could turn 3 facials that would have had you running around 3 different places at 3 different times to 1 location, 1 time, and you've got 3 people at once, and that's really technically a party, but less running around for you. So, does that make sense to bring them? You may even also, if you have a place in your home, like I have a clubhouse where I live. I know that Becky has a studio. She's in it right now. Yeah, where she lives now. So she has been a master at inviting people to come and bring their friends. So I would say if you have that opportunity, then you may want to be inviting people to you at that one location or your location, But then you have the liberty to invite multiple people, and like I said, make it your own party. You know, have 5 facials, and that's 5 guests at a skincare class, but that's one party instead of you running around to 5 different places. Okay. So I'm going to hand it over to Becky in a minute. What questions do you have for me about coaching the hostess and hostess program? Anything? Okay. Take it away, Becky.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Lisa, you should share your hostess program on the Facebook page that you're using.
Okay.
We can all see.
Yeah, let me see. And while you're doing that, I'll pull it up on my phone and hold it up on the screen too.
Okay. So, true confessions, I'm pretty disorganized. And I really also need to make a lot of money. So I needed to get more organized, and I also didn't have any time to do it in. So I decided to implement a couple systems that are nothing new, really, just kind of new to me right now. And one of them was using Calendly to book my appointments. So I set it up. You guys have booked with Lisa before. I set it up for different types of appointments and put in my availability there. And it's been super helpful. And at first I thought it would kind of take away from, you know, talking to people and figuring things out. But frankly, I was just really annoyed with the going back and forth and the wasting time. Oh, I can do Wednesday. Oh, can you do Wednesday at 8? Oh, no, I can't do Wednesday at 8. I can do it. You know, the back and forth is really annoying to me. So that takes that away. And I actually had someone this week when I sent them the link, they were like, oh my gosh, you're like a real business. You actually take appointments. Yeah, I do. Thank you. So it's pretty cool. And it is a free service depending on what kind of features you want to use. So if you want a couple extra features, you do pay a monthly fee, but it is a free service. So that's cool. So Calendly, like Lisa uses, is super helpful.
And let me also say, Calendly links to a Google Calendar, right? So the other benefit to that is if you want to have your set availability, but then you put something in a Google Calendar, like, I don't know, somebody invited you out to dinner and you're all of a sudden not going to be available, you put it in your Google Calendar, and then that blocks out your availability to anyone who currently has your link to book you.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's super helpful. And then hostesses can like scroll through. It's a visual aid for them. They can pick a day, they can see the times. And for those people that are visual and not like auditory learners that they're going, you know, back and forth over the phone, it's helpful. So there's that. The other thing that I just started using is called Google Forms. So Google, if you have a Google email, then you also have a Google Drive, and it's basically like your ability to use Word documents or Excel sheets, but it's all Google based. So it's on the network, it's online, it's in the cloud, whatever it is. You can access it on your phone, you can access it on your iPad, your computers, wherever you are. So Google Forms, I learned how to use them as a teacher because you can make a test that way. You can have kids, like, instead of like filling out a multiple choice test by pencil and paper, they can do it online through Google Forms. It's basically a survey feature. Mm-hmm. So I created 2 this week. I'm just going to click over. I created one. It's called a pre-skincare appointment questions. And what happens is once somebody books and they give me their guest list, because as Lisa said, like the hostesses don't know what to do with a guest list, or they don't know how to get people confirmed. It's not really in their wheelhouse. It's frankly not their job. It's your job to make sure everybody's there. So I send them like a little welcome. I'm so excited that you were invited to this party. Can you fill out this survey for me? And what it does, it asks them their name and their phone number, and it goes through the pre-profiling questions. So again, I was pre-profiling people sometimes, but mostly not, because it was annoying to try and get people on the phone or be texting back and forth. But now I can just send them a link. It asks them their name, their phone number, what type of skin they have, their age bracket, so that I know, okay, so this is a party where I'm going to be doing repair, or I'm going to be doing the time-wise. It asks if they have any sensitivities or allergies that they're aware of. And I think that's just a common courtesy to ask people. And it also heads off those questions and those concerns. Like, I have really sensitive skin. Great. We have a line for that. We have products that are great for sensitive skin. So I think it's just a courtesy to ask. And it does give you information about that person you're going to be meeting. It asks what products they're currently using. So that you know, is this a person that is just washing their face in the shower with their shampoo? Is this someone that has like 20 different lines that they're using? And they wouldn't have any idea what's going wrong because they're using 8 different companies. And then it asks them, it allows them to check anything that applies, but it asks them if you could change anything about your skin, what would it be? Is it dryness, an uneven tone, blemishes, oily patches, and it goes on and on and on. And that really just kind of guides me to, like, I think it's nice. Like, I was in my last appointment and I said, oh, Audrey, you had asked about, dark circles under your eyes. Well, here's the firming eye cream. That's why I chose this for this party. I didn't choose it for that party. I do it at every party, but it made her feel special. And if I hadn't been using it, I would have brought it in. So that's good. Sorry, there was a weird noise. Johnny opened the garage. It sounded like aliens were coming.
You're not used to those sounds in your big new place.
I know, I can't take the sounds. I also decided, for some unknown reason, on an 80-degree night to do the self-cleaner in the oven. So this place is so hot. Not even funny. I'm sorry. You see how red I am? Oh, all right. Sorry. Back to, okay. The next question is there anything in particular you want to learn during this appointment? And then the following one I added in because I'm really trying to get people into the idea that there was going to be a second appointment. It is either going to be a follow-up on your skincare, or it is going to be a glamour appointment, or it's going to be some kind of event that you participate in. So it says, if you were to schedule a follow-up appointment, what would you be interested in? And they can check all that apply. And so I have things from like personalizing a color palette to doing your brows to a contouring party to a peel party, smoky eyes, charcoal mask, like all the different things that you could potentially offer. And honestly, some of these things that I offer, I've never been taught before. But
Las Vegas legs.
I know, Las Vegas legs. My friend was really mad at me because she's like, what is Las Vegas legs? You've never told me about this. But the point is, you'll figure it out as you go, or you just grab the products and you demo them. No big deal.
I think we did Las Vegas legs at a party that Meredith did one time years ago, right? You're like, yeah, well, whatever that was. I think it was.
Yes, in the nursing home or something. I remember.
At your aunt's house, remember?
Oh my God! Yes.
I think you were a brand new consultant, Meredith.
I think I was like very new at that. Yes, with my cousins and her friends that were awful. And yes.
Vegas legs is so simple now because we have the CC cream.
I know.
The satin hands scrub on your legs. Easy.
Toning lotion. Woo!
You do the
toning lotion.
Hello. Yep. Or if you don't have that, you can use the satin hands hand cream. It really doesn't matter.
Or hydrating lotion. Whatever.
Yeah.
Hydrating and then lotion. The CC cream, which means you don't have to wear pantyhose anymore because they stink. Let's be real. Anyway, so I am happy. Lisa, actually, you have links to these if you want to send them to people so they can test it out.
I got to try to figure that out. I just want to.
Oh, we have 8 minutes left.
Yeah, we have 8 minutes. I don't know if you can see. It's terrible. Okay, you can't see. My form, I actually have there's a URL, correct?
Yes.
Right?
It's
Where
a
you
link,
get a URL, and I save mine in my notes section on my phone. So like when I booked this girl today, who said, "Oh, I'm going to think about inviting some of my friends," the first thing that I did was text her the link to this form.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always available and ready to go, and it's really, really cool. But yeah, Becky, you did some really awesome ones.
I think that after this training, what I'm going to tweak it a little bit, and I'm going to tweak it. But
Go away. I love you, but go away.
I'm going to tweak it by at the top. I'm going to say who shared this form with you, so that way it connects it to either a hostess or myself. All right, and then I think at the end I might say like, you know, if you want to bring 2 friends with you, you get a $25 gift certificate. Are you interested in this? Yes or no? And that way I know what to follow up with her, or I know she's just coming by herself.
Yep. That's wonderful. Okay. So we have 7 minutes. So the Google form, what else were you, I'm sorry, where's my notes?
I think that's all I was going to, I don't know. What did he text you?
Oh, tell us about the choosing the follow-up party from the start. You have like I know you mentioned that a little bit, but like you have a list of things. Tell us how you use that as at an appointment. So if somebody pre-profiled and they like said Las Vegas legs, you know, so
Yeah.
you're able to use that then at the individual closing, like you're reminding them what they.
Yeah, so first of all, it's layering in that information, that expectation that there is going to be a follow-up appointment. And honestly, like that's not like taking advantage of someone. That's like I'm offering you an additional service because now we've established a relationship and I'm your person. So I'm your person from head to toe. Okay. From your brows to your legs. So anyway, so there's that. And then I can say when I meet with them one-on-one to go over like what are they going to purchase that day, or what questions do they have, are you willing to do the follow-up appointment, or not the follow-up, are you willing to do the sharing call, like those kinds of things. I can say, okay, Lisa, you wanted to do, one of the things you clicked was a contouring party. When do you want to do that? Here's my Calendly link. Let's set it up. Or I'm going to do a contouring party in my studio on Tuesday nights.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to join us? Bring 2 friends, you get $25 in free product.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you. Questions for Becky? You're hot stuff, girl.
I am sweating.
I have a question.
Okay.
If they bring they want to get the 25, but they can only get 1 friend to come, do you give them a discount for bringing 1?
I end up giving them $10.
Okay, that's
$10,
cool.
or like if you have goodie bags with you, you know, with a discontinued product or something in it, you could do that.
So here is oh man, the light is so bright. All right, can't see that either. I will put it on the Facebook group. But this is my picture that I made it in Pic Collage and saved it on my Mary Kay, because that way I could be texting this to the guests too at an individual closing. But this Hostess program is that the $40 gift of beauty. So they get $75 for $35. Okay, so they're spending. Remember, this is awesome because why is it awesome? Because they're getting $75 for $35, and $75 worth of product costs you $37.50, and she's paying you $35 for it. So technically, it only costs you $2 to give her $40 free. It talks about that the way that she gets that is a minimum of 2 guests. Blah blah blah. All right, but then at the bottom, and I know you can't see it, but I'll get this on the Facebook. It says plus a half price product for every $100 in sales, and an extra gift with 2 bookings. Now, the extra gift, I usually make, I don't know, maybe like around a $20 value, $20 to $30, depending. And that gift has like a bow around it in the middle of the table And this is how I solidify the 2 extra bookings, because her friends at the very beginning are going to know that she's getting that gift. In addition to the other hostess credit, she's getting that when 2 people book. So remember when I said to you in the beginning that a huge component of the hostess program is making sure that you leave there with more bookings, and that's how I do it. Because her friends want her to get the gift. And it's not going to just be a random gift. It's going to be something that she wants.
And they want to get the gift at their party too.
Yeah. And so, you know what I've done? I've sometimes put like a couple of gifts they can choose from in the middle of the table. Like maybe I wrapped up a satin hand set or an eye makeup remover and a mascara. So it's, you know, the similar things around the same price. When we've had limited edition body lotions, I've done that. Shower gel and body lotion, so that she's picking the gift that she wants, but her guests get to see that there's like this gift basket that they get to pick from with 2 bookings. And that's really what kind of solidifies it, because women want to help one another.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I think you can tweak your hostess program to how many people are at the party, right? So if I have a big party, my bookings changes to a brush set. So if they get 4 bookings, they get the brush set.
yeah.
$55 value.
Yeah.
And each additional booking, they get the extra brushes to go in that set. So you get them, you know, those extra brushes that go in the set.
Yes. Awesome. Well, we have less than a minute, and we have a minute and 14 seconds. Okay. So, thank you all for being here. Any last questions?
How is it look so cute without makeup on?
I use Mary Kay. How about you?
That's it.
I'm your girl.
And it's really a lamp without the lampshade on it. Great light. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.